the latest. Thank you for all love and support. I appreciate you all. Those who are liking, commenting, I say thank you. And those who are sending me super thanks, I say thank you. And please, if you haven't subscribed to be a member of this movement, please do. Are all in all, the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved. Captain Ibrahim Traore ideology is spreading. As we are sitting here thinking that the other leaders are not watching, these leaders are watching and they know what Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing, but it's just that they can't come out to voice it. But the president of Botswana, Duma Boko, boldly come out to join Captain Ibrahim Traore to fight the system that has crippled the African for a very long time. According to Duma Boko, sometimes we do make comparisons between Captain Ibrahim Traore and other leaders. And whatever Captain Ibrahim Traore says, it becomes something. It becomes the order of the day. And we know that it isn't that these leaders don't know what to do. Even those who came before him, they know. But the system that these people were operating in was the reason to which they couldn't do better for their nations. So our leaders, we know that Captain Ibrahim Traore came out some few weeks ago, days ago, to tell us that democracy is not something that can help us to thrive. That in the name of democracy, Africa is made poor. It is a system that these people have created. And we are no longer going to be in that system of democracy. We are in a revolutionary stage. And this revolution is the only thing that can do away with all the systems that these people have created for us to be able to thrive. And Duma Boko has confirmed it. That if we want to thrive as a people, we should do away with the democracy that these people have given to the African. These systems are bold to make sure they empower the oppressor. Democracy will never make us to be where we want to be. So if truly Africa wants to move forward, we have to do away with democracy that these people have given to us. This is the reason to which these people do not want any leader to move out of these systems, because they know that the systems that they've created are there to empower and to enrich them. So the leaders are aware that they are not able to thrive because they are in this system.
Change the laws. And I see people making uncanny comparisons with Paul Kagame, my good friend Ibrahim Traore. And I say, some of these folks are operating in a slightly different environment, where their word is obeyed instantly, without question. It's a different environment. You say, this guy is not doing things. Traore is doing them. Traore wakes up, dreams them up. Following morning, he makes a pronouncement. It is law. It is policy. Action follows. And I wake up and I say stuff, they look at me and say, what is this? What is this man talking about? We need to take it through this stage and that stage, and put it to tender, float the tender. It takes 2 years, then we evaluate, then there are complaints, and there's an interdict. We wait another 4 years. By that time, you have to go and account to the people, and they remove you. Those who came before me did not fail because they didn't have ideas. They did. Maybe even better ideas. They just didn't implement them. Why? Because perhaps they failed to appreciate that the structures that are in place are not properly suited to the attainment of quick action. So you need to subvert some of these rules and processes unapologetically. And I will do it. Let me tell you here and now. I will. Within the confines of the law, and I know it. If there's anything I know, it's the law. That's all I know, really. So I will, within the law. Tell me to flight a tender, take 2 years to procure some much needed service. I'm not going to waste anybody's time with that. I'm going to take the quick route, as the crow flies, straight on to action. And I'll take fire from politicians. That's what I'm always ready for. I like it. I enjoy, I relish the fire. But I will do what is good for the people. for any industry that must drive and power this economy. We're going to do it together. So, with the ideas that you will churn out and channel to the government, which will be well thought out, informed by your experiences, we will then shape policy, develop our laws, and make the environment conducive to your doing the business that you so passionately love. There's another angle. When I broached the subject of a living wage of 4,000, one of the members of one of the business people said, we've gone beyond what you suggest. We've actually introduced a system by which our employees can also acquire some stake in the business and become part owners, shareholders in some shape or form of the business. Very interesting proposition. As a tool to manage, when they are invested in the business themselves, and they know that if they go on strike, they are affecting their own profits, as it were, or dividends, I don't think they'll be quick to strike. And so we can deploy this as a management strategy, actually, if we are not committed to the principle that at least it will manage our industrial relations. There will be no conflict. But there are other compelling reasons for the living wage, advanced by scholars and economists. What is it that we can do about these problems? How should we resolve them? Very critical. And when we engage at this level, respectfully, we listen to every voice, every view and viewpoint, and try and understand what the merits of each proposition are. And we engage with those merits, identify any demerits, blend, harmonize these different variegated views and viewpoints, the better for us to come to some common position, a common center of consciousness. It's not about blueprints. And politicians, when they stand up in parliament, they present some assumed gospel truth, lacking hermeneutic humility, the ability to appreciate that whatever you say is capable of revision and critique. This is what it's about. That is why we must always be humble. Whether you are president or whatever you think you are, you've got to be humble and listen to the other person, because they may actually hold a fragment of the truth which you can bring into your own stance to fortify it. And this is what leadership represents. That humility. There is no way in which you can not be humble. On what basis, really? That you can refuse to listen to other people. And I bring in the third of the pleas that I've heard today. There used to be a tourism pizza that for some strange reason fell into obsolescence. It now is no longer taking place. You want it back. You are demanding. You frame it as if you are pleading and begging. You were not begging. I heard the undertones. You were demanding. And that demand is acceded to here and now. And don't thank me. I'm not doing anybody any favor. In fact, I'm doing myself a favor, if you look at it. By agreeing to hold this pizza, I'm allowing myself to be informed, to be guided, to be educated, to be schooled by people who know. And so how would I refuse? Why would I not take you up on this offer to school me, to train me, to educate me as the experts? I take you up on your offer, and I accept it readily.
And according to Dumaboko, they have to move away from these systems until the African is able to break free from all these systems created by oppressor. We will never make a headway. These people created systems to help them thrive, to make sure Africa is backwards. So if our leaders now know that these are the things that are in place that is keeping the African poorer, then they have to move away from these systems. And that is what we are preaching, that we have to all unite together as a people and make sure we dismantle everything that has been imposed on the African, which is keeping the African backwards. Captain Ibrahim Traore is not calling for other leaders to do away with democracy because they want to stay in power. They came to power because democracy has failed us. And we have realized that it's a system that is not benefiting the African, but rather benefiting Yellow Popo. So in order for us to be able to move in the direction that we want and to attain that sovereignty and independence, we have to make sure we do away with that word called democracy. These people that impose democracy on us are not practicing democracy. They are practicing human rights. These people are imposing their will on Africa. If truly Africans were sovereign and independent, we should have a model that suits us to determine how we elect our leaders, but not to be following the same system that was given to us by somebody who forcefully imposed himself on us. Now we want our leaders, as they are coming out to give us speech, will act, move in the direction of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Let us do with something that is beneficial to the African. Anything that we know is not helping us, we have to do away with it. We have to sit down and ask ourselves, look at the countries that have practiced democracy for decades. When you go down in the reality, things are not good. We are suffering. The citizens are suffering. Our water bodies are destroying in the name of that democracy. But we see that these Western medias always sit down and praise these people because they are always getting everything that they want from us. And that is why they always sit down and point fingers at these leaders and tell us how beautifully we have been able to keep democracy. It's not the democracy that we have been able to practice. It is how beautiful we have been able to allow them to come into the continent, to keep taking everything that belongs to the citizens of Africa. And that is what we have to know, that anytime these people start praising us of doing anything good, it means that in return it's benefiting them and not we the citizens. And that is what Captain Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta and Abdurrahmane Tchiani are fighting against. That anything that is not benefiting us should be kicked out. If truly democracy is for the people, why is it that Africans have decided in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to choose another form of a leader? That should tell you that it's not the democracy that these people are preaching that is the truth, but it's rather what we are allowing them to take out of the continent that they are praising. So this is a system that the African need to break away from. Not only their democracy, but anything these people gave to us should be dismantled. That is the only way the African can make a headway. We will get there. And now that we are seeing our leaders openly admitting this, we are hoping that together collectively we'll unite and do away with everything that these people have imposed on us. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free, and no other person. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves, from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, Southern Africa, and in Botswana.